Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter-Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An episode of the syndicated program Murder at Midnight. This episode was originally broadcast on March 28th, 1947, and the episode entitled Wherever I Go.
Murder at Midnight.
That gun won't do you any good. Besides, you're pointing it the wrong way.
I'm pointing it right between your eyes.
That's what I mean.
Midnight. The witching hour when the night is darkest. Our fears the strongest. And our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight. When the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a minute in Wherever I Go. And now, Murder at Midnight. Tales of mystery and terror by Masters of the Macabre. Our story, A Study in Crime and Retribution, is by William Morwood. Its title, Wherever I Go. The music room of an old country mansion. Seated at the piano, playing with the skill of an accomplished musician, is Gordon Ormsby. Engrossed in what he is doing, he is not aware his wife, Ellen, has come in until...
For goodness sakes, Gordon, when are you going to stop that pounding?
What? Well, I thought you enjoyed music, my dear.
I do when it's well played. Oh, don't be childish. You might have a little consideration for my headache.
You and your headaches. There's nothing whatever wrong with you. The doctors have as good as told you that. It's all in your mind. The affectation of a silly rich woman.
Lucky for you I am rich. Or where would you be now?
Someplace where I'd amount to something. I had talents when I married you, Ellen. I could have been a great musician or a great painter or writer.
You were what you are now, what you always will be. A dilettante, a dabbler.
It's your money that ruined me, softened me up, robbed me of my ambition.
If you hate my money so much, there's nothing to prevent you walking out on it.
I will. Someday.
Not if I know you. You'll stick around as long as I have a penny left. Oh, my head.
Oh, you poor, poor darling.
Oh, I don't expect sympathy from you, but... Oh, when I feel like this, I could kill myself.
That would be too much to hope for.
Wouldn't it be nice for you, Gordon? Little me out of the way, and all my wicked money to spend exactly as you pleased. But don't worry. I'll live to a ripe old age, just to spite you.
I'd never thought of it before. Her dying. Never. But after that, I couldn't get it out of my head. There was so much I could do with her money. I could go abroad, study. But first, I had to get rid of her. It was dangerous even to think about, but I conceived a plan and developed it carefully, slowly, step by step. Ellen, we've got rats in the cellar. I saw signs of them today.
How awful. We must do something about it.
Ellen, have you done anything about those rats?
I ordered some stuff from the drugstore.
Well, there's only one thing that's any good, and you'll have to get a prescription for that. Arsenic. Let's eat home on Thursday, Ellen.
Oh, but it's a servants' night out, and we always go to a restaurant.
I know, but I want to try my hand at cooking up something.
Well, it's sure to be poison, but... All right.
We ate dinner at home on Thursday, the two of us alone together. Afterwards, Ellen complained of a headache and went up to her room. I followed a little later.
This is a surprise.
I brought you a cup of cocoa, my dear, to help put you to sleep.
That's suspiciously thoughtful of you, Gordon.
I'm afraid it's still too hot to drink. I'll put it down here.
What have you done to your hand?
What?
It's all bandaged up.
Oh, I scalded it in the kitchen. It's a nuisance, too. I wanted to write tonight.
What are you working on now, Shakespeare? Your memoirs?
No, dear. I don't expect to die for a while yet. No, it's a story about a girl suffering from an incurable disease who commits suicide.
Sounds morbid to me.
Oh, but it's not. I'm making it very tender and beautiful. As a matter of fact, I did mean to write the death scene tonight. With this hand, Say, Ellen, would you help me out?
How?
Well, I've got the girl's suicide note all set in my mind, but I can't write with this. Would you write it down while I dictate it?
Oh, do it yourself tomorrow.
Oh, please. It'll only take a minute. Please.
Oh, all right. Where's some paper?
Here.
But that's my very best stationery. I hate to waste it.
It won't be wasted. Ready?
Yes.
Here goes. It's, I can't stand the pain any longer. Nobody knows how much I've suffered. Death will be peaceful compared to this.
Wait a minute.
What? What's wrong?
You're going too fast.
Oh.
Death will be... What?
Peaceful compared to this. Forgive me for what I'm doing, but this is the only way out. Signed,
Yes?
Ellen.
What?
I named her that, dear, because she reminded me of you, so noble in her suffering. I thought you'd be pleased.
Well, I'm not. You'll have to think of some other name.
All right. Jane.
Jane?
You remember Jane Turner, the girl I was going with when I met you? I don't think she'd mind.
But I would. There. It's signed Ellen.
Thank you, my dear. You don't know how much this means to me.
Oh, my head's splitting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some cocoa? Drink it. That should end your headache. Drink it, Ellen.
Tastes queer.
Well, I couldn't find the sugar, so I sweetened it with maple syrup.
Well, I don't suppose it'll kill me.
Drink it all. Drink it all.
There. Oh.
What's the matter?
Oh, the pain. Gordon, do something. Why are you...
It won't be long now, Ellen.
You mean
that arsenic you bought for the rats.
You're mad. They'll hang you for this.
No, Ellen. Oh, no. You have left a note behind. It's a clear case of suicide. I was shaking all over, yet my nerves had to be steady for what lay ahead of me. My own life depended on it. Music, that would relax me. The piano. I raced downstairs for the music room, but before I reached it, I heard the playing. I pushed open the door. A man was sitting there. A man I'd never seen before, but who was somehow vaguely familiar.
Hello.
Who are you?
Don't you know?
Well, of course not. What are you doing here?
There was nobody at the piano. I didn't think you'd mind.
Well, I do mind. How'd you get in? The door's locked.
Is it? I didn't notice.
Breaking and entering, huh? I've got a good mind to call the police.
I'm sorry you're so suspicious. Still, I realize the strain you must be under.
What do you mean by that?
I'm afraid I'm interrupting you in business vital to both of us. I'll call again some other time.
No, wait. You can't leave like this. At least tell me your name.
I have many different names. When the time comes, you can call me by any one of them. Goodbye.
I put the stranger out of my mind. Too much depended on the telephone call I had to make. A single slip-up now, and a rope was waiting for me. I dialed with shaking fingers. Dr. Sampson, this is Gordon Ormsby. You must come at once. Ellen is dead. I think she's taken poison. It worked out, just as I'd planned. just as I'd hoped it would. The doctor's visit, the police, the inquest, no false moves, no suspicions. I became the sole inheritor of a large estate and a free man. I moved out of the old house and into a hotel suite in town. I don't know when it started to happen, but I first knew that something was wrong when my fingers would no longer obey me at the piano. Nothing would come. Or rather, nothing but discords. I decided that my nerves were overstrained, that I needed a rest. I figured a trip somewhere would do me good. I went to the telephone to order my car brought around first thing in the morning, but before I picked up the receiver... Yes?
I'm going with you, Gordon.
Who is this?
Your friend. I'll see you first thing in the morning.
But...
Number, please.
Operator, you cut me off. I was making a very important call.
There must be some mistake, sir. There was no call on your line.
I didn't wait. I couldn't. I packed that evening. I slipped a gun into my pocket. I left the hotel. By 11 o'clock, I was far out in the open country, driving west. The night was pitch black, and every mile I burrowed further into the darkness. And then suddenly, a terrible conviction came over me. I knew I wasn't alone.
I'm coming up front now, Gordon.
You?
I said I was coming with you.
When did you get in this car?
I've been here right along. You drive well, Gordon. A cool head and a steady hand. But then you had to have them, didn't you?
What does that mean?
I was just thinking out loud. The money's nice, but music means a lot too, doesn't it? A pity that went sour on you.
Look, I don't know who you are or what you're talking about.
And yet you proved a point to Ellen. You proved that you were an artist in a way, even though she couldn't live to appreciate it. Her death was your masterpiece.
The sweat stood out on my forehead. My mouth was dry. I didn't want it this way. One murder was enough to haunt me. But he left me with no alternative. He knew too much. Somewhere along that road, when the night was darkest, I knew I had to kill the stranger.
Yes, the mysterious stranger seems to know a great deal. Is it possible he knows even more than Gordon suspects about his plan for...
Murder at midnight.
March 28, 1947, Murder at Midnight on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Murder at Midnight, Wherever I Go, from March 28, 1947.
And now here is Gordon Ormsby to continue our story.
I knew what I was looking for. A lonely stretch of road with no sign of life. At last the headlights found it. A valley with trees growing down to the edge of the road. The stranger seemed asleep, but he stirred as I jammed on the brakes.
Hey, what's wrong, Gordon?
Must have a flat. The wheel feels funny. Would you mind having a look?
That would be very unwise for me.
Why?
You have a gun in your pocket. I would make a perfect target out in the headlights.
Well, since you're so suspicious. Here, take it.
You amuse me, Gordon. However...
How do they look?
All right on this side.
I'm sure it's one of the front tires.
I'll see the other side.
I got him. He was standing squarely in front of the radiator when I got him. Just to make sure, I backed the car over his body. I dragged him across the ditch and into the woods. I dug a shallow grave with a tire iron, hacking in among the roots and the rocks. And then I covered him over. I got back into the car. I needed a drink. And when I came to a juke joint along the highway, I stopped.
All right. What's yours, mister?
Scotch, straight.
You been driving hard, mister?
Why?
You look all in.
Give me another shot. No, wait. Look, I'll buy the bottle.
I don't always want to sell. You know, scotch is hard to get around here.
I'll pay for it. I took the bottle over to a booth and began putting it away. I felt better. Warm inside. It was going to be all right after all. The stranger was dead, and they'd never find his body. I was in the clear with nothing to worry about.
Help a poor blind man. Help a blind man.
There was something about that blind man's stick that got on my nerves. He came up to my table.
Help the old blind man, please.
Get away from here.
Please, sir, if you'd be so kind.
Will you get away?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't want any favors from anyone.
I said beat it.
I'm going, but you shouldn't have done that.
What's going on here? What's the idea of shoving Nettie?
He was annoying me. Then I saw him. He had the blind man by the elbow and was leading him toward the door. The stranger.
What's the matter with you, mister? What are you staring at?
There. Don't you see him?
Oh, blind Ned? Well, sure.
No. The man with him, opening the door.
There's nobody with him. Blind Ned don't need nobody. He's been going in and out of here by himself for years.
But it was he. I knew it was. I'd killed him, buried him, and... Well, was he dead or wasn't he? I had to know. I drove back up the road. There were the trees and the broken weeds in the ditch through which I'd dragged the body. I walked carefully among the leaves, searching for the grave.
Hello there.
What?
What you doing?
Oh, who are you?
State trooper. Saw your car parked on the road, followed you in.
Well, I'm looking for my watch. I lost it here this afternoon at a picnic. I didn't realize it until I got home, so of course I turned around.
Sure, I'll help you.
Oh, no, please don't bother.
No bother, I got a flashlight here.
Well, it's awfully nice of you, but I don't think...
Hey, what's this?
What? Where?
Ground's all scraped up into a... Looks like a grave.
Oh, what would a grave be doing here?
That's what I'd like to know. Give me a hand, will you? Fresh dirt and rocks digs easy.
Well,
What's the matter? Scared?
Oh, no. It's just
down to the bottom anyhow. Oh. Well, I'll be...
What is it?
It's a grave, all right. But if there was ever a body in it, it's gone now.
I had only one idea after that. To get away. To get away as far away as possible. I drove like a wild man the rest of the night and all next day, stopping only for gas. Finally, I just couldn't drive any farther. I stopped at a small hotel and went up to the desk to register.
Sign here, please.
Yeah. I'm driving across country and I've got to start first thing in the morning.
Certainly, Mr.
Ormsby.
Ormsby. What time would you like to be called?
At daylight. And another thing, I don't want to be disturbed under any circumstances.
Yes,
that's important. No matter who wants to see me, on what excuse, I don't want to be disturbed.
I understand, Mr. Ormsby. Now, if you follow the porter down...
The elevator doors were just closing when I saw him. He'd come in from the street and was walking across the lobby to the desk. I reached my room, dismissed the bellhop, and locked the door. With a shaking hand, I picked up the telephone.
Yes, clerk.
This is Mr. Ormsby. I thought I recognized a friend of mine in the lobby. A man about the same height and build as myself, dressed in a gray suit.
I am afraid...
Well, he came in right after me. I haven't seen him in some time, and well, I've forgotten his name. Would you mind looking in the register and telling me what it is?
Just a minute now, look. Here we are. Your signature, Mr. Ormsby, and then...
Yes?
I'm sorry, sir. There is something, but the name's blotted. I can't make it out.
I knew now there was no escape. I took the money from my billfold and piled it on the table. I examined my revolver to make sure it was loaded, and then I sat and waited. A few minutes before midnight, the knock came. Come in.
Hello. You act as if you were expecting me.
I was. The only thing I'm not sure about is what you want. Or rather, how much.
You should know.
All the cash I've got's on the table. Nearly $500.
Helen left you a good deal more than that.
All right, I'll write you out a check. Name the amount.
Everything you possess.
What? You're crazy.
I think somebody's crazy. March 28, 1947, Murder at Midnight. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Murder at Midnight, as it was originally broadcast March 28, 1947.
Do you honestly think, after the risks I took, the risks I'm still taking, I'd give everything away to a cheap blackmailer?
Murder is an expensive hobby, Gordon.
Well, not that expensive. If you want to be reasonable, say $50,000.
I'm afraid there's no compromise. And I'm not just talking about money.
Listen, this is your last chance. 50,000 or...
Or what, Gordon?
Or you don't leave this room alive.
You tried to kill me once before, remember?
I lost my head. The car only stunned you, and I didn't make sure that you were dead. It'll be different this time.
It's always going to be different, isn't it, Gordon? When you disposed of Ellen, you were going to lead such a rich, beautiful life. But what happened to it? Your music went. You couldn't play.
You shut up.
And then your heart went. You struck out at an old blind man.
Listen, you.
There isn't very much left now, except your mind. And that's starting to go, too. Sometimes you see me, sometimes you don't.
I see you now. Large as life. But do you see this?
That gun won't do you any good. Besides, you're pointing it the wrong way.
I'm pointing it right between your eyes.
That's what I mean.
Well, you... He was gone. Yes, gone. Nowhere in the room. And I heard the rapping at the door. In a daze, mechanically, I opened it.
Anything wrong, mister?
What? Who are you?
The house detective. I thought I heard...
Oh, you must have seen him. He must have run past you in the corridor.
Who?
The stranger, the man who was in my room.
Oh, I did... Hey, be careful of that gun.
Well, I had to shoot him. He was threatening me. He was standing over there when I let him have it.
Oh, yeah?
What did he look like? He was about my height and build, wearing a gray suit.
Like the one you're wearing?
Huh? Oh. Oh, yes.
I thought so. Look.
At what?
The mirror. You shot at your own reflection.
You mean...
Now do you know who I am, Gordon?
There, didn't you hear him?
Hear what? What are you talking about?
No. No, you wouldn't hear. Only I would. And now I do know who and what he is. I know why I couldn't escape him. Here, take this gun. I want to give myself up.
Give yourself up?
My name is Gordon Ormsby. I killed my wife. I poisoned her. I made it look like suicide, and there never was any trial.
Oh, I get it. Sure,
It was a perfect crime. At least I thought it was a perfect crime until he came into the picture.
Now, don't you worry about it one bit, Mr. Ormsby. You just
Wait a
come
minute.
along with
Wait
me.
a minute. You think I'm making it up. And I'm crazy, don't you?
No.
You do think so. But it's true. Every word of it.
Sure, I got a good friend who's a doctor. You tell him all
Doctor?
about...
No. No, he won't believe me either. Nobody will believe me. They'll all think that I'm mad. And don't you see? That's why I have to give myself up. Because that's the only way I can get away from him. If you hang me. But if you don't...
They won't, Gordon. They'll put you away. And wherever you go, I'll be there too. Remember that? Wherever you go.
Taking him firmly by the arm, the detective leads the struggling Gordon out into the corridor. A corridor that grows darker and darker until it is completely black. Somewhere in that blackness, a voice is whispering, and it continues to whisper until it is drowned by a clock striking 12 for
Murder at midnight.
Remember to be with us again when death whispers softly in the night and the clocks strike 12 for
Murder at midnight.
The part of Gordon Ormsby was played by Barry Kroger. With music by Charles Paul, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
March 28, 1947, Murder at Midnight on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of The Adventures of Jungle Jim. This episode originally broadcast March 28, 1936.
Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim.
Last week, Jungle Jim and the Reverend Chalmers carried Shanghai Lil, who had been shot as she stood in front of her jungle altar, to her plantation house. There they discovered that, although wounded, she would recover. After he had dressed her wound, Jim said goodbye to the Batwoman, but she refused to say goodbye to him, telling him she loved him, and he'd be seeing her again. Collecting their things, Jim and the Reverend Chalmers left the plantation. Soon afterwards, they met Lynn Chalmers and Kolo, who were hurrying to their aid. After a joyful reunion, Kolo showed Jim where Jacques LaBarr had jumped off a cliff and killed himself. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue our story. In her bed up in the plantation house, Shanghai Lil tosses restlessly.
Niji, you black witch, where are you?
Here, Niji.
Where do you always disappear to? When I want you, I have to shout my lungs out because you're not around, and it still hurts me to raise my voice. But of course, you're not interested in that.
Yes, Missy. Niji put clean cloth on Missy's neck.
All right. That's not what I called you for. Where's Mamba?
Niji no see Mamba, Missy.
Has he run away, too?
Maybe, Missy.
Ouch! Go easy, will you? That's my neck you're working on, and it's sore.
Yes, Missy.
Yeah, I'll take the bandage off myself. You fix the medicine.
Yes, Missy.
Jim and the Reverend left while I was asleep, did they, Niji?
Yes, Missy. White ones, catching things belong them. Go.
And you haven't seen Mamba since?
No, Missy. No, see.
Give me my hand mirror. Oh, heavens, I look a sight. No wonder Jim said goodbye.
Yes, Missy.
Just your face. If anyone can say the wrong thing at the right time, you certainly can. Give me that bandage. I'll do my throat up myself. Get my clothes, Niji. I'm getting up.
White Tuan say you stay bed.
He did, eh? Well, never mind what the White Tuan said. You get me my clothes.
Yes, Missy.
And you wait until I get my hands on that Jacques LaBarr. I'll fix him for this. Just another moment, and the parson would have said the words that tie the marriage knot.
Yes, Missy.
Of all the rotten luck. I finally get Jim and the parson into a spot where Jim says he'll marry me. The sky pilot starts reading the will vows, and bang, everything goes black. I still think I answered the parson before I was shot. Here, you can take this away.
Yes, Missy.
No, not the mirror. This bandage. If I answered the parson's question, then Jim and I are as good as married. Oh, I wish I knew where he is. If I knew... What was that, Niji?
Shell, Missy.
Mamba was the only one to blow a shell. See if that's Mamba.
Yes, Missy. Mamba back. Him come now.
Come in.
Missy,
Well, where have you been, Mamba?
me look see where white swans go.
Oh, you trailed Jim and the Reverend, eh?
Yes, Missy.
Well, where'd they go?
Go by look-see boys out there.
Past my sentries at the boundary line. Yeah, go on.
Find native boy and white Missy.
What? I didn't get rid of him when I fired my gun into those moving leaves?
No, Missy. Native boy, white Missy, lie.
Oh,
All go down Burwani.
so that's why Jim wouldn't marry me, because of that girl. Mamba, while I'm getting dressed, you get my air canoe ready. I'm going to have another talk with Jungle Jim.
When Lambert told Shanghai Lil that Jim, Kolo, Lynn, and the Reverend were going to Burwani, he didn't know they were heading for the camp, which was deserted when the missionary was captured and taken to the plantation. It is at that camp we now find them.
Well, folks, here we are, right where we started from.
Yes, it seems ages since I pitched the scent.
I think we're all lucky to be coming back to it.
That's right, Lynn, we are. Kolo,
This is one.
let's have a look-see if our canoe is still hidden in the bushes.
While you're doing that, Jim, Lynn and I will take stock of our things in the tent. Come along, Lynn.
Right with you, Father.
Now, let's see, Kolo. Lest if I haven't almost forgotten myself where we hid that canoe.
Welcome. There, one, Jim.
You think so, Kolo? All right. Let's look over here, then.
Look, one, Jim. Welcome.
The canoe. You were right, Kolo. Here, grab a hold of that end of it and we'll see if she'll float.
Well, all our stuff's all right. They evidently only wanted to get Lynn and me. How's your canoe, Jim?
Looks okay. Just testing it to make sure it'll still float. All right, Colo. Let your end in the water.
Well, there it goes. Looks good and seaworthy to me, Jim.
Yeah, so far, so good. Now, Colo, get our gear stowed away. We're shoving off pretty quick. I don't suppose you care to hang around here any longer either, Reverend.
No, I don't particularly care about it, Jim, but I'm going to.
What? You aren't coming back with Colo and me?
No, Jim. My place is here with these natives. I must lead them from the pagan worship of the Batwoman to the paths of righteousness.
But now that LaBarr's dead, perhaps Shanghai Lil will leave these parts. She won't be able to control the natives alone.
True, Jim, true. But she may get herself another overseer, you know. And if she does, I must be on the field of battle.
I can understand how you feel, Reverend, but I still think you might just as well come back with me now. Lily DeVril is all washed up as far as that Batwoman stuff is concerned. Why, you heard what LaBarr told Colo just before he jumped off the cliff.
Yes, I know. He said there was no more mumbo-jumbo, and that your boys should spread the word. I hope he told the truth, Jim. At any rate, I'm going to stay here and see that there's no more black magic.
But what about Lynn?
Lynn's staying with me.
I'll be glad to take her out of the jungle for you, sir. I'll see that she gets back to civilization again.
Thanks very much, Jim. I couldn't ask you to do that. You've done enough for us already. Besides, Lynn has made up her mind that she'll never be separated from me again.
Well, I'm sorry I can't persuade you to come back with me. Good luck to you, Reverend.
Thanks, Jim. The same to you.
Colo ready at once, Jim.
Why, Jim, you're all packed up. You aren't leaving us.
Yes, Lynn. Colo and I are shoving off. I'm not needed here anymore.
Are you sure about that?
Sure. You and your father are together, safe and sound again.
Yes. But it would seem strange not having you around, Jim.
I bet it will. Nobody to order you around the way I did.
Not just that, Jim. I meant... Well, never mind. It doesn't matter what I meant. Jim, I want to thank you for everything. If I had obeyed Father and stayed at the hotel, I wouldn't have caused you all this trouble.
Forget it, Lynn. I had a swell time. And I want you to know that I think you are
Yes, Jim?
the luckiest girl I've ever met.
Oh.
Yes, sir, Reverend. You can be proud of this daughter of yours.
I am.
Well, I guess everything's all ready for Colo and me to shove off.
Take care of yourself, Jim. And as soon as I repair the spiritual damage done by Lily DeVille, Lil and I will be coming down to civilization again.
I hope that's a promise you can keep soon. All right, Colo. Let's push along.
Yes, it's one, Jim.
Good luck to you both.
Good luck to you, Jim, and thanks again.
Goodbye, Jim.
So long, folks. I sure will be looking forward to seeing you again. What we do now, Swan Jim? The first thing we do is look up Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn. After that, well, you know as much about it as I do, Colo.
Meanwhile, back at the cafe, a Chinese gentleman dressed in Western clothes enters and goes up to the bar.
Well, sir, what'll you be having today?
Kindly give one small glass beer, please.
One small glass? You're sure that won't be too much for you?
No, thank you. Shall be quite able to dispose that amount.
I should hope so. Well, every man to his own taste. Yeah, here you are.
Thank you. Sounding like airplane.
Airplane? Holy St. Patrick.
May one so humble as self ask why putting away glasses? You closing up honorable cafe?
Me friend, I never see you before you started coming here 2 days ago. So I'm sure you don't realize what that airplane means. It means the worst element down here is about to drop in.
Very interesting.
And if she has with her who I think she has, you'd better get out before that French-Canadian pokes his ugly face in here and starts trouble.
So sorry, not wishing to annoy.
Just looking at you'll be enough for this fella LaBarr. He's one tough customer. I'm putting away this glassware just to be on the safe side.
Hello, Flynn.
Shanghai Lil, you and that... Why, where's your pet ape, LaBarr?
LaBarr? LaBarr is dead.
Dead? Lord have mercy on him. That's the best news I've heard in months.
I saw his body lying at the bottom of a cliff. Good riddance to bad rubbish, I say.
For the first time in my life, I agree with you, Lily DeVril. Well, now, what brought you down here? Looking for a new foreman?
Yes, in a way.
What do you mean by that now?
Who's the China boy down there at the end of the bar?
I don't know. He started coming in 2 days ago and just orders his beer and goes out.
Well, wait until I get rid of him. Listen, my slant-eyed friend. If you finish your drink, get on your way. The bartender and I want to talk privately. Savvy?
Very kind lady for suggestion. Quite understand. Excusing, please.
Now, Flint, you're Uncle Jim's friend.
I am that. With the last drop of strength in these 2 arms and the last breath of life in me body.
I know that he comes to see you the first thing when he hits town.
He does that.
Where's he now? I want to see him.
I don't know, Lil. I ain't seen him for 2 months. Not since he piked off after the Reverend and his daughter.
Well, he's been my guest for the past few weeks.
What?
Oh, but he left my plantation and started down here. He must be due here if he hasn't already arrived.
Say, if Jim has come to town and not passed the time of day with me, his old friend Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn...
All right, Flynn, you seem to be telling the truth. I'll just hang around town a while. I want to see Jim about something. Well, it's the China boy again.
Begging pardon, please. Would be possible for one so lowly as self speak, honorable bartender, alone, please?
Sure, and why not?
It's okay, Tea Leaves. The joint's all yours. Well, so long, Flynn, for now. I'll be seeing you around.
Yes.
Honorable lady seems in position take great liberties.
Begorra, you're right about taking liberties, but I'm afraid there seems to be some questions as to the lady being honorable.
Indeed. That's very interesting.
Well, let's forget her. What is you want to see me about?
Please, was given to understand I should meet Honorable Jungle Jim here. Can give information how can contact him?
Sure, and Jim ain't been here for 2 months or more.
Oh, very disappointed to hear that. Have message for him.
Oh, but wait now. I'm just after hearing he'll be pulling in here any day now. Can I give him the message for you?
Most kind, but afraid not. However, would you do me favor of presenting Honorable Jungle Jim with this letter upon arrival?
Sure, and I will that.
Thank you. It is of utmost importance.
Unknown to Jim, the river bears him toward the greatest adventure of his life. The dramatization you have just heard was taken from a scene of Jungle Jim, which appears in full-color action pictures in the Comic Weekly. The big Comic Weekly distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspapers everywhere. In the Comic Weekly you will find all of the important characters who live in the world of color pictures, including Skippy, Bringing Up Father, The Little King, Barney Google, Toots and Casper, the Katzenjammer Kids, and many, many others. Don't forget our date, next week, same time, same station, for a continuation of the adventures of Jungle Jim.
From March 28, 1936, The Adventures of Jungle Jim, which was basically, it ran on a Saturday, and it was basically a commercial for the Sunday newspaper to get people to buy that particular Sunday newspaper. All right, thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me, classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Thank this radio station and support their advertisers, and tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.